for entertainment purposes only. This is our electrical system.
I'm an electrician.
I'm at power since I took everything out 4 months ago, so I feel like I'm 70% confident. First crimp of the quick disconnect. I think that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I probably should have started the electrical about 4 projects ago, but my confidence was really low about my ability to do it myself and do it correctly, and obviously not set a fire to the camper. An electrician came out, he looked at my wiring diagram, we went over all of the sizes of wires that I needed, as well as just making sure that I had all the right fuses and breakers and everything was going to work in a way that the system would run efficiently, as well as not set fire to our camper. The okay on my diagram with just a few modifications. I'm very excited to get started, but I am incredibly nervous. I would say that I know what a current is, I know what an amp is, I know how wire sizing works, and I know that I can follow my diagram and not make this thing catch on fire. Did I say I don't want this to catch on fire? Just want like a general sense of what we're doing with our electrical. This is it. We have 2 100-watt solar panels that go down into a solar charge controller. That solar charge controller then is going to a positive and negative bus bars. You can kind of consider this as like central station for our energy. It makes it a little bit easier and cleaner if I need to make any changes, and it's just a simpler system for me to understand. From there then we have a 200 amp hour battery. This battery then is going to go to our 12 volt and our 110 volt systems. Our 12 volt system is for our max air fan, our refrigerator, and our water pump, as well as just charging any USB electronic devices like our phones. Our 110 system, this is primarily going to be to charge our laptops. However, we eventually might get some other outlets and electronics in here if we ever increase our electrical system. Now, I have to say this, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a licensed electrician. I did have a consultant look at my diagram and make sure that everything was okay, but please do not take this as electrician advice. This is a hobbyist who is doing this project. Our first step is running a ground neutral wire. We're going to be running this to the place that the old ground wire was. We couldn't keep that wire because of where we're putting the electrical now. So we're just gonna add a new one. Okay, per usual, I don't have a like 6-year-old man's tool set, so I had to buy a new drill bit. I will say it's bad when the people at Ace Hardware know you by name, so there's that. I'm gonna add that there's certainly a more scientific way to do this that probably requires some math, but I'm just drilling and hoping I don't hit metal. That's really a bummer. I've now made 2 incorrect guesses. It worked! Switch gears. We're gonna put the camper down and I'm gonna keep working on this part of the system tomorrow. But for now, we're gonna install the solar panels. If you haven't figured it out, the king bed still broken. We're going to be installing 2 100-watt panels onto the roof of the camper. This is going to give us enough energy to do just a few small things in it. We basically want the camper to be a place that is pretty much like camping, but with the ability to charge our phones, our computers, to run water, and run a fan every now and again. These two 100-watt panels are going to be just enough for what we need. If we ever wanted to extend the camper electrical system, or maybe someone who buys the camper from us eventually does, you could easily change these out for 200-watt panels. I bought my entire solar system, from the battery to the inverter to the solar panels, the solar charge controller, and even our brackets from Renogy. I felt like, as someone who doesn't necessarily know what I'm doing, it was important to me to get all of my components from the same place so that it was easy for me to understand. We went with these tilting brackets. Our solar system, from all of the numbers that we ran, is going to be just enough to run our refrigerator, our water pump, charge our phone, charge our computers, and run our max air fan about 5 hours a day, 5-6 hours a day, which means that we need to be maximizing our sun's rays in order to make sure that that can happen. Laying everything out and making sure it looks right, and then I'm going to put the brackets that go down on the camper that we're actually drilling into the camper. I'm gonna put them where I want them to go and mark them so that I can take the solar panel off and then make sure everything is still lined up. It should be pretty easy. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think this is gonna go fast. Hoping that this is the last time I have to do this. I don't think I've properly introduced our cabinet here that we're putting all of our electrical in, but this is like the brains of the operation for everything that we're doing when it comes to electrical. What the cabinet looks like, there's a few things of the design of why we did it this way. Because we have a pop-up, that means that our wiring for our solar has to be on a quick disconnect. That's because this bed has to slide over the cabinet in order to close the camper. I did a lot of research of a variety of ways that we could add a quick disconnect, but I ended up going with these. I liked this one because it had a piece that could go right into the bench really easily for a quick install disconnect there. So what we have to do now is we have to connect these raw solar wires to our quick disconnect so that the bench can slide, the bed can slide in and out, where we're just going to disconnect this, put a cap on it, and then the bed can slide just as it was otherwise. I really hope that made sense. Now to run from my solar to my battery.
Nice.
And see, I made these
Let me hang in.
connections. Oh. Come back. My camera died. Put my batteries the wrong way on the charger, so wait a minute. I got the wires completely done for the quick disconnect from the solar. Now the solar is still not attached yet. I gotta attach the batteries to the solar charge controller first. But that wire, done. Check. My goal for today, which I think is entirely possible, is to get the solar charging the battery. That's my only goal. Wow, that is not what I'm here for. For the very basics of what we're doing right now is attaching our solar system to our battery so that the sun can start charging up our battery. From there, then we're going to be able to start our 12-volt system, which includes our max air fan, our water pump and our refrigerator, as well as a few USB outlets that we're going to be installing as well. But to do anything, I've got to have power in here. So that's what we're starting with. I'm not going to lie to you, I am a little bit nervous of doing this, not because I think I'm going to electrocute myself, but because this is something that I feel not as confident in as I do with a lot of the other trades that are involved with doing this camper, even building stuff. But I feel confident enough because I've had someone look over my diagram and I know what I'm doing. Enough to do it. But that's about my level of skill. Got the battery connected here, run through a fuse, run to an on-off switch here to the positive terminal, which will then connect to the solar charge controller. Just need to do the negative, which should go much easier here to here. Hey, you better work or I'm selling my camper. The biggest thing you have to keep in mind when you do this is that your battery has to be connected to your solar charge controller before you install your solar to your solar charge controller. And I have everything connected, I think. So right now, everything's off, but I'm hoping I did it right. Oh, it turned on. See? I got on the camper yesterday.
Wow. Like a pro.
Need some extenders because I know exactly how to make them now. I'm gonna go up there and connect them, and then I'll have enough extension to finish this up.
It's got a recording.
Wow.
Editor.
Hi, my name is Kendall, and I am finalizing our solar install. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry.
You're an electrician, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay. It's showing the panel is going to the battery,
Whoa.
which means it's working.
Whoa. High five. That's awesome.